astrology. I hope you guys are all doing well today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to another video. Today's video is a little bit different than what I normally do, but I felt like playing with makeup today and giving my opinion. So I'm going to be chatting about each of the zodiac signs and ranking them from least favorite to most favorite with some explanations. And just a disclaimer, this is obviously a very personal video. These are my opinions, and most of them are based on my chart, which I will explain as I go through the video, and as I go through and explain why I don't like some of them. I wonder if it'll help clarify for you guys why you don't like some of the signs. Also, I'm in the fall mood today, so I am drinking some apple cider from the farmer's market, have my turtleneck on, and yeah, it's not quite fall yet here in Portland, but it's like pretty close, so I'm getting in the spirit. And yeah, so go ahead and grab your mug of tea or cider or whatever, and let's dive on into the video. Okay, so to start off this look, I'm gonna put on some primer. This is just like the NYX basic one. I don't normally wear face makeup most days, like especially when you see me in my videos, I'm wearing, like I do my brows and my eyes, but today to help kind of extend the length of time I have to chat, I thought I would do a little bit of face makeup. So taking some primer and getting it everywhere. So starting out with my least favorite sign, just so we can get some of the negativity out of the way. My personal least favorite sign is Aries. I have a lot of trouble with this sign simply because to me, Aries are very short-sighted. They kind of do what they feel in the minute and they don't think through their actions before they act. In my experience, Aries are the type of people who you have a really strong connection with for a very short period of time, or you have a very surface level connection with them that kind of persists over time. But personally, I don't find Aries to be super long-term friends. Oh, also I forgot to mention that when I'm talking about the signs, I'm not talking about anyone with their sun in that sign or with that rising sign. I'm just kind of generally speaking about the sign as the archetype. So for me, Aries as an archetype is not my favorite. And this is not to say I hate all Aries. I've had some really fun times with Aries. My grandma, who I absolutely adore, is an Aries rising. They're not all bad. But for me, generally, Aries are really hard because I value longevity in relationships. Like my Venus is in an earth sign. I view relationships as an investment of time and money and energy. And if I'm going to invest in someone, I want to make sure that they actually are willing to like be around for the long term. I don't really do quick surface friendships. Like I don't really have acquaintances. It's like I have friends or I have people I know, but I don't care to just have those very short, sporadic relationships, and Aries are all about that. I do admire their ambition. They want to be the best at everything. And even if they don't follow through, they have those dreams, and I really admire them for that. Also, personally, I just don't think I like Aries very much because my Saturn is in Aries. It's my 8th house, so it's kind of a difficult house. And the sign of Aries makes a whole sign aspect to all my planets in Capricorn. So it's a very challenging aspect for me. I feel like I'm pretty grounded, and Aries are so adventurous. When it comes to Aries, think of like a matchstick. Like it burns super bright and super fast and then burns out quickly. And that energy is kind of hard for me to relate to or keep up with in the long run. So yeah, coming in at 12th place, we have the first sign of the zodiac, Aries. Like I said, I don't wear a lot of face makeup, but I like to put a little bit of concealer on sometimes. So I'm doing, this is actually foundation, but I don't have concealer and this works fine. This is the Milk makeup brand. I'm just gonna apply like a little bit in the corners of my eyes and then right along here to kind of lift up. And while I'm doing this, I'm gonna talk about my 11th favorite sign, or my second least favorite sign, which is the other Mars ruled sign of Scorpio. Kind of for opposite reasons of Aries. I find that Scorpio placements have this intensity and demand like kind of an all or nothing type of relationship with people in their life, which I understand because like I said, when I invest in someone as a friend or a romantic partner, I want to make sure that they're actually going to be there for the long run. And I admire this like intensity and like kind of background check that Scorpio does, like the tests that they put people through to make sure that they want to be friends with them. But Scorpio has this kind of intensity of like, we have to be best friends or we can't be anything. I don't know, Scorpio energy is just very hard for me. I think that they deal in a lot of black and white of this is correct, this is not, or we're friends or we're enemies. Like that kind of intensive thinking is it's a lot for me. In my experience, people who I've been close with who have a lot of Scorpio placements, I get very close to for a while, and then they kind of latch on a little bit tighter, and they're like, we have to hang out all the time, you have to be my only friend, or I'm your only friend, and like anytime we're not at class or work, we have to be together. And again, I'm not saying that this is anyone with a sun or rising sign in Scorpio. This is just generally this archetype. I find Scorpio energy to be too intense, which is a stereotype of Scorpio, but I feel like it works here. Yeah, the only reason that Scorpio isn't in last place is because my two favorite musicians, or songwriters or whatever, Alex Turner and George Harrison, they both have Scorpio moons. So because of those two men, Scorpio comes in at 11th place. I do admire Scorpio's like work ethic. Okay, sorry, just to add a little bit really quickly. Yeah, with Scorpio, like my dad has his Mars in Scorpio, and he is one of the most hardworking people I know. He is driven and ambitious, and I really admire that side of Scorpio because it's a fixed sign. They know what they want and they go for it, and they don't really care how long it takes or how much time they have to put into it. If they want something, they will actualize that dream. So, admire Scorpio for that, but as far as like in my life, I don't really care for Scorpios that much on a personal level, but that's just me. So I'm adding some translucent powder now. I just kind of like to do a little bit where I put my like foundation / concealer and then just kind of generally over my face to give it like a consistent texture. And then coming in at 10th place of my 10th favorite sign or my 3rd least favorite sign is Leo. And I know that this is quite a popular opinion. A lot of people don't like Leos. I think I agree with most people for some reasons. I also have some personal experience with Leos. Like I've dated a few. Actually, most people I date have some placement in Leo. But for me, my biggest issue with Leo is their confidence. And I love people who are confident. I think that confidence is a very attractive quality. I think that it's very important to have. But their confidence, in my experience, it tends to be very fake it till you make it type of confidence, as in like they put on this bravado, this like very performative, like I'm the baddest bitch in the room, and then you get them alone and they're like, can you like reassure me, like am I actually that attractive, am I that smart, whatever. And they need so much reassurance, and I don't mind reassuring people like of how awesome they are. And at the same time, I don't love kind of that like switching of like putting on this show and then showing your true side in private. Like I would rather just have you be authentic all the time. You know, but I do, like Leos are really great friends to have. Leo is the king of the jungle or the queen or the non-binary royal, and Leo wants to have someone by their side. They're not like a solo ruler. They want to have their king or their queen or their non-binary royal next to them. And so they lift up their friends. Like they make sure that their friends look good. Like Leo's the kind of person who will like fix your hair and make sure that you look right before you like go on a date or whatever. So Leos do have this like very charismatic, charming, like generous, let's build our empire together type of energy. I don't know. For me, with Leos, like the cons outweigh the pros. Also, they just tend to have this kind of like theater kid energy, even if they never were theater kids. Yeah, so Leo comes in at my 3rd least favorite sign. And then up next, my 4th least favorite sign, my 9th favorite sign is Gemini. And Geminis also get a lot of hate. I feel like my least favorite signs are popular opinions for the most part. But my issue with Gemini is that they talk so much, and I am personally a quiet person. I tend to think before I speak, and I do a lot better on one-on-one interactions. Like I enjoy really bonding with people rather than like making small talk with everyone in a room. Also with Geminis, like I was saying, like you never get a word in with them. Like they're the type to talk for 15 minutes ask you a question, and then as you're answering the question, they interrupt you and talk for another 15 minutes. I'm talking from personal experience here. That happened to me too many times. Personally, for me, I just don't really vibe with the energy of Geminis. I admire their like quick wit. Like their mind goes 80,000 miles a minute. They are really, really intelligent. They know a little bit about a lot of things, which I think is really cool. Like Gemini is the one you want on your trivia team because they have gone down some rabbit hole and can tell you which film was the first to introduce this type of whatever. Like they know the most random facts and they can process those really quickly and they're quick on their feet and they have this like social chameleon aspect, which I think is really cool and really admirable. Some people might call it two-faced. I call it adaptability, and I think it's a wonderful skill to have. And at the same time, on a personal level, I just find Geminis to be a little bit overwhelming. I think that Gemini might be the most optimistic sign. Speaking from experience, as someone who has a brother with a Gemini rising, my brother is like the most optimistic person I know, and not in like a fake way, but he just believes that everything will work out in the way he wants it to. And I don't know, maybe it's like good for manifesting or whatever, but I love the optimism that Geminis have in the world. Yeah, I don't personally have anything against Geminis. For me, I view them as kind of a neutral sign. Oh, also I am going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pencil, filling in my brows a bit. And then moving on to my 5th least favorite sign, or my 7th favorite sign, is Libra. And this is kind of the point in my ranking where we switch from cons outweighing the pros to being pretty neutral, which is funny because that's like exactly what Libra is. For me, I feel very neutral towards Libras. I like them, but I really don't have anything against Libras. They are really nice, like some of the nicest people ever. They are very socially gifted. They have a great sense of style. Obviously they're ruled by Venus, and they're just like always really beautiful. Like Venus rule signs, Libra and Taurus, are just always beautiful. So yeah, I don't have anything against Libras. I'm not like the biggest Libra fan like in the world, and Libra men are trash. And I'm trying not to generalize or go based on gender, but it's well known that Libra men are, yeah. So basically with Libras, I don't love them. I don't hate them. I enjoy their energy sometimes. Libras have a lot of gifts. Yeah, ultimately my thing about Libras is I think that I like them more than they like me. Like I want to be very good friends with them, and they kind of look at me and they're like, you're okay. Also, I find it hard to get on a deeper level with Libra placement sometimes, just because they are so concerned with making everyone around them feel good and like feel at ease. And it's like, okay, but what about you? I feel like it's hard to get to know Libras in the situations that I interact with them in. One-on-one, I feel like Libra placements are really easy to get to know, but in like general interactions, they stay on the surface level. So yeah, my thoughts on Libras, feel pretty neutral towards them. I just realized I said that Libra is number 7, but Libra was number 8, because number 7 is Capricorn. And I like Capricorn a lot most of the time. Sometimes I think Capricorn has this intensity. They're Saturn ruled. It's like a strict adherence to the rules, even when they disagree with the rules, just because that's the way things are. Yeah, Capricorn energy is very hard for me. I find that Capricorn energy is also very judgmental, but not very self-reflective. Like, Capricorns are the type to judge someone else for something that they themselves do, in maybe a projection type of way, or from a place of insecurity. My other issue with Capricorns is that they are not very emotionally available. And for me, I really value emotional vulnerability and like emotional intelligence. I really bond with people who can be emotional. And I feel like Capricorn placements give themselves 15 minutes a week to feel all of their feelings at once, and then they shut it off the rest of the time. And I say that in a joking way, but it's not that much of a joke. Earth signs tend to not be as emotional because they feel emotions on a very physical level, so it's physically draining for them to feel emotions. So they tend to like compartmentalize until they need to feel their emotions. So yeah, that's my big thing with Capricorns. That being said, since we are at the part of the ranking where it's, I feel, neutral or slightly more positive than negative towards these signs, Capricorn is driven. They know exactly what they need to get done to meet their goal, and they do it. Like, as someone with like a Sagittarius sun, I can't imagine just like planning things out and just getting them done. It's powerful. Capricorns are so powerful. I wish that Capricorns ruled the world sometimes. Oh, I'm going in with brow gel. This is the Benefit brow gel. I admire Capricorns, but they kind of scare me, quite honestly. I don't have a lot of them in my life, and they're not one of my favorite signs, but I do really admire them, and I respect them, and I fear them. Alright, now that my brows are done, I'm going to take some NYX like eyelid primer and get that set in so we can get some eyeshadow going. And coming in at 6th place of my zodiac ranking, we have Aquarius, and Aquariuses are so interesting to me. I feel like I never fully understand them, and I have an Aquarius moon. I love that the energy of Aquarius is so self-assured and confident in the exact opposite way of Leo. Like, Leo tends to be very conformist and like, am I fitting in? Am I like socially acceptable? And Aquarius is confident in themselves, and they don't care how socially acceptable they are. They are very authentic, which I really appreciate. And I feel like modern astrology has kind of warped Aquarius as an archetype because they assigned Uranus to Aquarius and gave it this like rebellious, like anarchy type of energy. But Aquarius is ruled by Saturn traditionally. And because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, they understand the limits, and then they understand where they want to see change, if that makes sense. While Capricorn is also Saturn ruled, they see the limits and work within those restraints. Meanwhile, Aquarius understands where the limits are and kind of ignores the ones that they don't believe in. Like, Aquarius is the type to like commit petty crimes because they think that the rules are unfair. I don't know, I just think Aquariuses are really intelligent, and I like that they are very consistent in their style and presentation. Like, Aquarius will always have the best style, like whatever they pick, whether it's like steampunk or hippie 1960s or like vintage 1920s fashion, whatever style Aquarius picks, they will rock it and unapologetically wear it all the time. Like, they do not care what people think of them. They are very much just true to themselves, which I really admire. I think the reason Aquarius is ranked a little bit lower than some of the other signs on this list is, again, that they can be a little bit emotionally closed off. And just like Capricorn, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, so they are not very interested in emotional vulnerability or exploration. And if they do talk about their emotions, it's in a very intellectual way of like when an Aquarius talks about their emotions, it's like they're like a psychiatrist almost, and they're like, I feel this, this, and this. And then or they'll just kind of like, they can't express their emotions in the best way. Aquarius moons are funny to me because they'll share like a true like smidgen of emotion, and you're like, okay, let's talk about that. And they're like, no, that was just a passing thought. Like, Aquariuses are not the most emotionally vulnerable, which I don't mind all the time, but that's why they're ranked a little bit lower on this list, because like I said, I do really value emotional connection with people. And yeah, everyone has different gifts. They're not better or worse. I just would rather hang out with some of the other signs on this list than an Aquarius. I'm having trouble deciding on an eye look, so I kind of want to do something fall inspired, but I also don't want to do something too heavy, and like all the reds I have are quite intense. All right, and then my 5th favorite sign is Sagittarius. I'm slightly biased as someone with their sun in Sagittarius. Also, I'm taking the Strawberry Shake palette from ColourPop with the dark red color. And yeah, I think Sagittarius are really fun. I would rank them higher because I know a lot of very cool people with Sagittarius placements. 2 of my best friends have Sagittarius moons. I think that as an archetype, Sagittarius is pretty interesting. However, I find that Sagittarius placements, especially Sagittarius suns, tend to be super hit or miss. Like, I'm obviously very cool, but there are people with their sun in Sagittarius who aren't. I think sometimes Sagittarius can also be ungrounded, might be the best way to describe it. And they just kind of go where the wind takes them. As I was saying with Aries, like if you think of Aries as a match, like quick to ignite and then quick to burn out, think of Sagittarius as a wildfire that doesn't have any direction and is really hard to contain. Yeah, Sagittarius I enjoy in theory, but sometimes I find it hard to connect with Sagittarius and like tie them down for an actual conversation. I don't want to play into any of the stereotypes of Sagittarius of like, oh, they love to travel and like non-committal and all of that. But some Sagittarians are like that. However, though, on the whole, I think that Sagittarians are really cool because they are so independent, adventurous, and curious, maybe. They really just like, whatever they want to do, they explore it. I love that Sagittarius placements tend to be super fans. Like, they don't just like something halfway, they are obsessed with it. I really love when people are super passionate about something. Whatever it is, I don't care what people are into. I just think it's cool to be very into something and not just kind of like blasé about like, oh, I kind of like that. Sagittarians are like, I'm into that. What do you want to know about it? I also love that Sagittarians don't really take any bullshit and they are just kind of who they are. Much like Aquarius. I saw this tweet once that said, Sagittarius is just a spicy Aquarius. And yeah, exactly. Sagittarians are unapologetically themselves. They know what they want and they're not afraid to go for it, even if it means like going after it alone or forging a new path. So I love Sagittarians. They're not necessarily my favorite because I find that Sagittarius, again, can be super hit or miss. Like some are really cool and some are really not. But generally, I think I like Sagittarius. That's why it's number 5 and not number 1. Had to take a brief intermission to get some Q-tips because this is how I make my eye looks. I don't know how to make a shape without like going back and editing. So my number 4 favorite sign is Virgo. I love Virgos. I'm a Virgo rising, so I'm definitely a little biased here, but I just think they're the coolest. I think Virgos are really grounded, but flexible at the same time. They are just like so full of dialectics. Like they will be the person in your group project who does everything, and then they will also be the life of the party. Like they don't confine themselves to a certain role. Also like Capricorns, they know what they want and they go for it. They are just like able to get shit done and it's never a question of like, oh, can I do that? Or how will I do it? It's just, I'm doing it. Virgos also give the best advice. It's a combination of their earth, like being an earth sign. Virgo is very grounded. And then also as like a Mercury ruled sign, they have that quick wit and that ability to like, what is the most practical way to approach the situation? But how can I also convey that in a way that is effective, you know? I don't know, there's also like this vulnerability to Virgos that I really admire, like I was saying with Leos. But whenever I think of Leos, I just think of a big cat. And anyone who's ever owned a cat will know that they don't show you their insecurities. Like, it's very challenging to know if your cat is sick or not because they hide their symptoms so well. But like, they do feel those feelings. And like, Leo is kind of like that too. Like, they hide their insecurities really well, but then as soon as you get them alone, they really need a lot of validation. Virgos, on the other hand, which is what we're talking about right now, I love that Virgos are so open about their insecurities and any issues they have, and like they kind of have this like judgmental worldview, I guess. But at the same time, like they are willing to admit when they are wrong. At least in my experience. I think that stereotypically it's like Virgos can't admit they're wrong, they can't take criticism. I think that they can. I think it just needs to be done in a tactful way, just like you would approach criticism or how you should approach criticism with anyone. So yeah, Virgo is coming in at 4th place because they're not my absolute favorite sign, but I would pick a Virgo over most other signs in most situations. Like if I need help getting my resume together, I would go to a Virgo. If I need advice about other friends, I would go to a Virgo. If I want someone to do something fun with me or get out in nature, Virgo is just kind of like that very grounded, chill, down to earth, helpful in any situation, like a Swiss Army knife. So, love Virgos. So I'm gonna go in with this palette now. A Virgo friend actually got this one for me. And I'm gonna take this gold and kind of make it a little bit more fall. Sometimes I do makeup looks and like, I have no idea how they're gonna turn out. This is one of those days. Anyway, back to my ranking though. 3rd favorite sign is Taurus. They are the most grounded, the most chill. Like, I don't think any sign has more chill than than Taurus does. If they don't want to do something, they simply won't do it. They are always down to just like chill and hang out. And I feel like anytime I'm with a Virgo, I just feel my like stress levels lower. And Taurus is so socially gifted. Obviously they're ruled by Venus. So like I said, with Libra, Tauruses are always beautiful, always have very well decorated spaces, and their homes, oh my gosh, I love going into Taurus homes because everything is so well designed and the vibes are just immaculate. As with all of these signs, I am slightly biased towards Taurus placements. In my family, I have so many Taurus women, like my sister-in-law, my sister, my niece, my aunt. I have a couple cousins who are Tauruses. I just love them. I think that they are so practical, and just like Virgos, they offer the best advice. And it's just very matter of fact, like, this is the way things are. Here's what you should do based on the way the world is. Yeah, I love Tauruses. I don't really know how to describe it. I feel like Tauruses just have this very grounded wisdom. Like, they just know how to live life, and sometimes it can seem simplistic, but sometimes like it's like Tauruses get the stereotype of being boring, but really I think that they've kind of cracked the code. They have what they need to live a very comfortable life, and they don't engage in things that would pull them outside that. Yeah, I think Tauruses are just the greatest. I really like Tauruses. I'm gonna try one more thing on my eyes, and I feel like this might ruin the look, but it might add more dimension because I realized I just have gold over red now. Ooh. Okay, that works. So my second favorite sign is Cancer. And I thought that I didn't like Cancers for the longest time. And then I became closer to the Cancers in my life and like realized how wonderful they can be. And I'm not saying that all Cancers are wonderful, because there are definitely some who can be manipulative, just like any other human can be. But Cancers are just like such wonderful friends, and I feel like they create a really safe space for other people to talk about their emotions as well. They always make you feel heard and validated, but I really value emotional intelligence and intimacy and connection, and Cancers provide that. Like, they're kind of always operating from a state of emotions, but I think that it's so soothing, like the way that they do it. I feel like I'm having a lot of trouble putting into words why I love Cancers so much. I just think that they are so caring and loyal, and I didn't want this video to become like me listing off the basic traits of each sign, but I feel like with Cancer it just like encapsulates them so well. Like, they are emotionally intelligent, and they're willing to be vulnerable, and they are great friends, great listeners, and they have great taste in music. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say about them. Okay, I'm losing the plot on my eye makeup look, so I'm gonna take a minute and kind of fix it, and then I will be back. Okay, so I think I fixed the look as much as I can. It's kind of a sunset look, it's kind of a fall look. It's giving me like late September, October transition vibes, which is exactly what I'm filming, so I guess I'm just embodying the spirit of right now. I'm gonna take my mascara. It's the Better Than Sex. It's very dried up, and I need to order new mascara soon, but I've been lazy on that. So as I do my mascara, I'm going to talk about my favorite zodiac sign, which I think is actually an unpopular opinion, but my favorite zodiac sign is Pisces. This is definitely partially because I have two Pisces parents. My 7th house, the house of partners, like one-on-one relationships, is Pisces. So I'm just like very drawn to them. Like, if me, the self, is Virgo, then the other person in my life, whether that's a romantic partner, a friend, a very close relationship, is a Pisces. Pisces also like accepts people first and then judges them later. Like, they're the kind of person who will like welcome you into their house the first time you meet them and be so friendly and so welcoming and inviting, and you don't need to prove anything to them. Like, you can just simply exist, and that's enough. Like I said with some of the other signs, Pisces have impeccable taste in music. They are often creatively gifted, which I really admire. Yeah, every Pisces I know is like really just like innately talented with music or drawing or painting or some other form of artistic expression. And not that anyone has to be good in order to make art or music. Like, you can sing badly, it's okay. You can make art that doesn't look great. That's okay. But Pisces do tend to be very gifted in those areas. Again, I also think that they're great friends because of their acceptance. I find that they're very non-judgmental until you give them a reason to be. I also appreciate their fluidity. Like, they're so go with the flow. Like, Taurus is chill, but Taurus is chill when it's on their terms, and Pisces is chill on anyone's terms. Like, I feel like half the time they're in a different place. Like, physically, they're here. Mentally, I don't know where they are. Okay, wait, with the light coming in, how does it? I don't know how to film videos. But yeah, also Pisces just have this like wisdom. Like, not every Pisces is an old soul. Not all souls are Pisces. Pisces just kind of have this like wisdom about life. And I think it's because a lot of them go to therapy, but also they just kind of like, I don't know, it's like this like Zen radical acceptance of the world. Like, they see the world the way it is, and so they're like, there's no point in trying to change it. This is just how the world is. But yeah, I don't know. I just think Pisces are really awesome. You know, I wouldn't say that Pisces give very good advice. Like, if you were to have a conversation with a Virgo and then the exact same conversation with a Pisces, the Virgo will give you advice. They'll give you 10 solutions or 10 steps to fix your problem. The Pisces will just sit and listen to you. And I think that both have their value in different situations. So I think it's a really good idea to have a Virgo and a Pisces around at all times. As a professional astrologer, I'm prescribing you that advice for your life. Make sure you have one of each. But yeah, Pisces are fantastic. I think my only issue with them is that they don't text back very well. And that's because they're usually napping. But Pisces have this like empathy and wisdom to them that I think makes them very valuable friends. And yeah, I think Pisces are the best. Just to finish up the look, I'm gonna take some blush. This is Tarte Dazzled, if you're interested. It's very old and probably expired, but I'm gonna use it. I just like to put blush on like the apples of my cheeks. I think that there are ways I could apply blush that would maybe be more flattering for my face, but honestly, I'm kind of lazy and I like having the bright cheeks. All right, and then I normally don't apply lipstick, but I feel like this look kind of needs lipstick to balance it out. This is just the basic Sephora brand, so I'm gonna apply that real fast. All right, and then here we have the final finished look. This is kind of your like transition between summer and fall look, if you feel like copying it. I didn't feel like doing eyeliner today because I think that the look is enough without eyeliner, and like I don't want it to be too dark. I still want it to be, you know, a transition between summer and fall and the darker months. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's a little bit different, but I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. If you want to see me in other places, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at AstroAbs. I don't post a lot there, but you're welcome to follow. And then I'm also on TikTok at AstroAbs3. And on TikTok, I post daily tarot pulls, like a card of the day with a little bit of advice and all of that. Yeah, if you want to see more videos from me in the future, like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you thought of this video, what you thought of the makeup look, and what you thought of my ranking. Do you agree with my ranking? Do you think it was controversial? Do you think that it was not as unique as I thought it is? Let me know what you think of my ranking, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!